uncover your hidden secrets.
My hidden secrets.
Yeah.
Wow. I have no personal secrets, but there are a lot of secrets going out there in the universe, huh?
Yeah.
It's maybe a good thing to. What is the secret?
Yeah, secret. Yeah. What is the secret to?
What is the secret? The key.
The key.
What is the key?
The key to living well.
Yeah. I think essentially forgetting about oneself.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Something a lot of people find very hard to do.
Yes. Why is that? Because it's remembering itself all the time, no?
Yeah, and maybe it's also an identification with the ego itself.
Mm-hmm. So we were talking about, I think there is kind of, they call it a secret, huh? And I think that the real secret is indeed to be able to forget who you are as an image about yourself.
Yeah.
So that sometimes we call it the ego.
Yeah.
But it's a very delicate thing to talk about the ego, because many people are in conflict with it. They say it's not possible to live without ego, and then you're obliged to define what it is.
Yes. And only ego can define ego.
And only ego will define ego. So
yeah.
if we search for a key, maybe it's that we at a certain moment get into a state of being without any interpretation or without any definition. About anything, and certainly not about who you think you are. So about what an ego should be or should not be, or if there is a good ego or a bad ego, or something like that. The more I think about those things, the less I understand. So at a certain moment, maybe the secret is to get in another dimension and to go into a kind of void where everything is empty of thinking, empty of identification with yourself or whatever image you have about yourself.
With the past, with the biography that you've lived through and so on.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot, huh? You have to forget.
Yes, but is this something that you think takes hard work to do, or is it something that just happens like the leaves fall off the tree?
It's both. It's at the same time you can fall in it by grace suddenly, recognizing just that there is and that's all. But at the same time, the daily life shows that there's always something coming back. That we call the thought or the mind, and it takes time, in fact, to diminish that power of it.
Time and concentration,
Yes.
Yeah. Because what I sometimes feel is, although one appreciates enormously the great teachers like Eckhart Tolle, Adi Ashanti, and others who have had a spontaneous awakening, so to speak, where the ego itself has within a moment of minutes just fallen away, is maybe people have felt from that, oh, this is how it happens. And therefore they miss out the need to work in the way that you are just describing.
Yes, because they all also didn't have it from birth, or they also had to go through some things.
Well, they had to go through a lot of suffering, a lot of them.
Of course.
Yes, that's what brought a lot of them to their awakening. Eckhart Tolle, Jeff Foster, and so on, all went through tremendous suffering.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's strange to talk about that, because in fact the truth is it comes suddenly, and there is no distance between the state of awakening and the non-state of awakening.
Yes.
So, but on the other hand, every awakening has been surrounded by information.
Yes. And therefore, some people, as much as they may want to be awakened, are also frightened of it. because of the implications of what they will lose, what they will die from.
Well, it's frightening because in the state of thinking we don't know what will happen, and we are always only frightened of what we don't know.
Yes, and it's a death, so frightened of death.
And it is a death of the ego, so it's death of references, of certainty, of security, and that kind of thing. It's a false fear, because you don't lose anything in reality, but the thinking loses the thinking. So the thinker thinks he's losing something, and that's what is scary.
Yes.
But in fact, it's not scary at all once you had a contact.
Once you have a contact, then you think, why didn't I do this before?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is an evolution in the way that you get so much seduced by it.
Yes.
That like Moji says, you fall in love with it.
Yes.
And it's a bit that it's so peaceful, it's so indescribable, that the rest, the complexity of the thinking is less and less interesting. And so in that sense, being less and less interesting, there is a path, but the connection itself is free of the path.
Is it the pathless path?
It's a pathless path.
Pathless path.
Yes.
Yeah. Which the mind doesn't understand.
It cannot understand.
No.
In that state, there is a mind, but there is no interpretation of the mind.
Yeah.
So also that is very difficult to understand and to explain, that in fact there is a mind, and but the mind is not what we think it is.
Yes.
The mind is just the let's say the experiencing.
Yeah.
I think like a little baby can do, just when he's just experiencing and just observing, being just the observer with no interpretation.
Yeah.
There is of course a mind, but the mind is in the moment. It's not polluted by past or even idea of a future.
Or the future,
or even not the idea of the now.